Okay, I want to demonstrate list view sorting. Finally, a feature which I know would get many of you very excited. It's a feature which I think has been very lacking, and I'm very happy that it's finally arrived. So let's demonstrate. So taking the list view of fields as an example, you see we have these different columns: name, type, dataset, index, null, modeling, category, status, ID, and all of them are sortable fields. You could click on them and then they sort the whole table accordingly. This is a very smart feature. It's been a little bit cranky and recently it's been fixed. So with the latest update, make sure you've got JCB version 2.11.2 and you should be ready to go. With this update, we have fixed the synchronizing of this area with the columns, and they work much more the way you would expect. But what's the drawback? The drawback is that sometimes you don't want to actually load the table at the current state. The default for all views is ID ascending. So all views would open with the ID in the ascending state. And you might say this isn't ideal. You would like to see the latest value created, which be the highest ID. And so we've done that in JCB itself. We have now updated the main views, which the quantities are high, to show the latest item first. Now you may want to know how we did that, and it is a pro feature. It's part of the Pro membership, and so it's being released actually as I'm busy recording this. And how does it work? And let's show you. It's actually two plugins. The one is the component fields ordering tabs, and the other component fields ordering compiler. So these two plugins, they work together. The one adds an extra tab to admin views, and the other acts upon those settings in the compiler. So you need to activate both of those. You go to plugins, and again, like before, you would go to find the compiler one, and you can open it. There's not much settings here. Just enable it, or just click on enable. This is the compiler, and then the other is under the content area, component builder field ordering. So you could just also, same thing, could just activate it, and that should actually get the new feature to show up in your admin view, but it won't yet let you actually enjoy the feature in the compiler. So to get it into the compiler functional, you need to go to JCB options, the global options, and then under the global tab, select the compiler extension field ordering and turn that on. I'm gonna save out here, and now we're ready to go. You only need to do this once, and from there on you manage everything from the admin views, because that's where you actually set your sorting behavior. So if we again open here admin views, you see these views, they have a specific ID descending by default. Now if I want to change that, and let's take members for example, you'll see there is now a tab called field ordering, and you have two options. You have one for the list admin ordering, when this view is viewed as a list admin view, or if you link this view to another view. Now, some of you may never have done this because of this drawback that you cannot determine the sorting order. Well, now you can by actually activating this. And you can now select a different value, and it will only show you values that are set up here in the fields area as part of the list view, all list views, and as sortable. So let me see here. There we go. Sorry. So at the moment we have only this account set as sortable. Now if we go back to our field ordering, you'll see the ID is always sortable, ordering is always sortable, status is always sortable. So those three values or columns will always show up. And then there's now account. So that's the one that's basically your field which you've added as a sortable field. So you could say ID then here and descend, and you can do more than one. You could have more than one ordering, and the first one would be the first layer of ordering and the second one then thereafter. And so it's useful if you want to group certain company values together and stuff like that. The other thing is the first value, the first field, is what will become part of the state, the user state, and only in the admin ordering fields. In the linked view ordering, there is no state. So you basically just have a straightforward rather. It will just use this as the sort, and you can then click on the table, of course, and sort it differently. But this is the default then. You're basically setting the default sort. If the view opens the first time, how it will look, in the way it will be sorted. So that's the feature, and that's all you need to do. And you can now save and close, and JCB will do the rest. You can compile a component at this stage, and JCB is going to write the code into your model for you. So having installed it, I'm quickly going to jump over to the code. So here you can see that it is using the ID as the first, and it's adding it to the state, or it is added to the state already, and it's using the descending value, and if it has these values, it adds it. And then here is the permanent list order, which we set to order. But this one isn't triggering the actual table. It just sorts the data set. Now we don't have the member manager view linked to another view, so I couldn't show you that part. But you get the picture, I'm sure. Looking at the actual view, by default now, it's ordered it by ID in a descending way. Well, that's the feature. I am actually very excited about this feature. I've customly coded this in a number of times in projects, and now being able to just use it like this is really much more convenient. I hope the rest of you find it to be true the same way. Enjoy. Until next time, take care.